Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is now the most... Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is...
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is now the most expensive way to power your home. In fact, the average electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years, but not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the price of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
Avenger Radio on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Hello, good evening everyone and welcome to a special lockdown episode of Avenger Radio, your home of all things Avondale FC, coming to you live from the virtual studio on Football Nation Radio FNR. My name is Branson Gibson. I am joined via Zoom by FNR's Josh Parrish. Good evening, Josh.
Hopefully this is the last virtual studio we have to participate in for a little while because lockdown ending. We've got our fingers crossed that the restrictions continue to be eased, but FNR will be back in the studio tomorrow night, so we should have in-studio edition of Avenger Radio next week.
Absolutely. I mean, lockdown Avenger Radio is fun, but it doesn't quite compare to being in the studio, mate. That's for sure. We are also joined, of course, I mean, if there's a COVID update, there's only one man that we turn to. We are joined by Avondale General Manager Sam Watson. Hello, Sam. How's it going, mate?
Evening, everyone. And I was just going to say that it wouldn't be a lockdown announcement without calling me in. Either we're coming in or we're going out.
That's it. Thanks for jumping on, Sam, right at the start. We do have a big show ahead of us. Of course, football is back this weekend. Sam will be able to give us an update on exactly what's happening there. Later on, we'll recap our senior women's season so far with a couple of special player guests as well. And then later on, our senior men's players, Liam Boland and Stefan Valentini, will be joining us as well. Sorry, gentlemen, but tonight's episode of Avenger Radio is brought to us by our major partner, UCS. UCS Group is one of Australia's leading urban development utility network service companies, efficiently connecting new developments to the electricity grid and NBN telecommunications networks. They are proud sponsors of Avondale, front of shirt sponsors of Avondale FC. For more information, visit ucs.com.au. But guys, the big news, of course, is the confirmation today that the lockdown will be ending. Football is back this weekend. Sam, what's the latest, mate? How are we looking for this weekend?
Well, as you said, great news. We're back. I think that's what everyone's really excited about. We're hopeful, as Josh said, that this is the last time this season, 2021, will be affected by a lockdown, and fingers crossed that we can play right through. What that actually means this weekend, we don't know the exact details. Again, and I think this happens every single time I come on the show, I'm scheduled to get information about what that looks like tomorrow.
Right.
I don't know how it always works out that way, but we're getting our return to training and return to play conditions from Football Vic tomorrow. So in regards to training, look, we'll ensure that all the teams are briefed this week starting tomorrow night. In regards to the games, although we haven't had a concrete confirmation about spectators, based on sort of the announcement from state government today, it sort of appears that we'll be going through a similar scenario we did about a month ago, where we're allowed to have a parent or guardian for junior games, but then for the senior games we can't. However, as I said, we'll get clarification of that tomorrow.
So at this stage, Sam, as best to your knowledge, it's probably for the senior teams going to be a behind closed doors situation, and people watching on the live stream.
Absolutely, and it's fantastic that we've got the ability now to be able to show our games, because you sort of rewind sort of 5 or so years ago, and there'd probably be a lot more of an uproar because people wouldn't know how to follow their teams. So great that we can provide that service, at least for the senior teams. Obviously, for the more junior senior teams, I suppose, if that's such a thing, such as 21s, 19s, and our women's teams, yes, you'll have to rely on sort of someone updating the Twitter score or something like that.
Sam, what about catch-up rounds? Obviously, we've missed another 2 game weeks. Is there any word or any indication from FV on what might happen with those?
Look, Football Victoria at the start of lockdown, sort of, they sent out a, I suppose, proposal of what their intent was. Now, obviously, this is not a concrete, this is exactly going to happen. This was more just, we're optimistic that this is how it all plays out. And they want to prioritise the league. So that is their number one focus, is to complete the league. Now, as everyone can do the math, we're starting to run out of time, particularly for sort of the community levels, because there's a lot of clubs that their grounds become cricket grounds as of October. So in that sense, you probably think that we fill out September as catch-up rounds, and then it is what it is. In regards to sort of the higher end of our competition, again, the priority is completing the season and completing the league. What that means for finals, I don't know. I think their Football Victoria's intent very much is to have finals, but they've said their priority is the league. So that's their number one focus. And from all I can read into that, it means that if that means finals get sacrificed, then so be it. But Football Victoria's very much intent is to get as much football in as we can.
When the season was abandoned last year, obviously there was a longer lockdown and there was really no choice in the end, but there was a lot of talk about clubs not wanting to play behind closed doors for too long because of the loss of income from ticket sales, from concessions, so food and drinks on the day.
Yeah.
This far into the season now, do you think the other NPL clubs will be on board to finish the campaign, even if we have no fans for the rest of the campaign, which is hopefully not the case? But
yeah, look, if that was the scenario, that the remaining, was it 9 games, I think?
Mm-hmm.
If the remaining 9 games are to have no crowd, exactly as you said, Josh, and we have to pay for sort of the security, referee costs, ground maintenance, everything that goes into running a game. But you're absolutely right, you don't get ticket sales, you don't get any canteen sales, bar sales, etc. I think that there would be a lot of NPL clubs that are quite heavily reliant on making a profit on game day that would be hurting. And there's probably a conversation that would need to be had as a competition about what can we do to decrease that, whether, and totally spitballing here, but whether sort of we could discuss with Football Victoria about referee payments, and maybe Football Victoria could help us out on that side of things, or whether as a collective we can be a bit smarter with the amount of security we would need, because if it is a lockdown, perhaps we literally lock the door so we don't have to worry about people coming in and out. I'm not too sure exactly, and I'm sure we would go into a lot of consideration if that was the realistic option of the remainder of your 9 weeks are going to be totally locked out, because you're absolutely right. There'd be a lot of NPL clubs that would be hurting.
Well, I have a suggestion if that's the case, Branson. You and I are both aficionados of the NPL matchday feed, and obviously the canteens are a huge part of clubs surviving in Victoria and thriving. So I put it to you, Sam, that if the spectators are not able to attend senior matches, we get these canteens on Uber Eats and we give the fans watching at home on the stream the most authentic matchday experience we possibly can by having the stream there with the commentary and getting their food and beverages delivered right to their door. So you have your chivapi or your gourmet sausage roll or whatever it is straight in front of your telly.
Absolutely. And furthermore, you could even go to a more extreme level and actually order food from other clubs.
I like it.
And really have sort of the tastes of the NPL.
We need to have some sort of Deliveroo partnership or something. This is strategic thinking, Branson. We got to get something going.
It could happen, mate. Initially, I thought you games and eat enough food to cover 500 people, and that was going to be a tough ask. So I'm more on board for the Uber Eats option rather than us having to polish off 250 gourmet sausages each. But I'm on board with that. Sam, one final question before we let you go, mate. The Doherty Cup semi-final, of course, we were meant to play the Port Melbourne Sharks. That one fell victim to the lockdown. We've got our FFA Cup clash coming up later in August. Any word on when the Doherty Cup game will get rescheduled to? And at this stage, are we thinking that the FFA Cup game is still okay to go ahead?
I'll answer your first question second and your second question first.
Nice.
For FFA Cup, look, we were involved in an FFA Cup, I suppose, Zoom conference or meeting. And Football Australia is very conscious of what's happening, obviously, nationwide, in particular in New South Wales, and what it means for their qualifiers. At the moment, the intention's very much, at least at our end, to go ahead with it all. I think our game's not till August. And I think by that stage, we should be in a pretty good position, even if it sort of means our opponent, Devonport, really comes in and does a sort of a bump in, bump out type scenario. So in that regard, I think we're quite good. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens with New South Wales, though, because they're at the same stage we are as around 32. And at the moment, I don't think community sports looking crash hot there. And I don't think it's going to look crash hot for a while. So that's probably more of a concern about sort of what do they do that they're sort of falling around behind, and what does that mean if we are successful against Devonport? What does that mean for our future opponent? So I think there's some sort of considerations that I'm sure Football Australia, are going through, but at the moment, very much they're along the lines of we will complete this. There's been sort of no conversation that we wouldn't, so that's quite positive. In regards to the Doherty Cup, again, that game's going to get rescheduled against Port Melbourne, Again, the assumption very much is that goes ahead. And we look forward to sort of making all those announcements once we know. So again, Football Vic have been waiting for today's announcement to say, hey, football's coming back this weekend. And now that dates can start be locked in and the conditions of returning to play and the conditions to returning to train are going to come out tomorrow. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we get that locked in information regarding Doherty Cup semi-finals, times, dates, venues.
Cool. Yeah, I suppose it's all up in the air, but the main thing, the good news is that football is, of course, back this weekend. The rest, hopefully, will sort itself out, and we'll have updates very, very soon. But Sam, thank you very much for joining us on Avenger Radio, and once again providing us with a COVID update. Hopefully, we don't have to have you on for the rest of the season in a COVID capacity.
Absolutely. I think last time I was on, I pitched that I would come on with different team kits, and I would much prefer to come on with a review type segment as opposed to because by next time I'd be on would be telling us we're locked down again. So I'm very conscious that it works in waves. But anyway, thank you very much, and everyone have a good evening.
Fantastic. Sam Watson, Avondale General Manager, joining us to provide us with the latest news on the COVID-19 lockdown. Josh, we're going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking all things to do with our senior women's side right after this.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is now the most expensive way to power your home. In fact, the average electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years, but not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the price of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
Avenger Radio on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Welcome back to Avenger Radio. My name is Branson. I'm here in the virtual studio with Josh, talking all things Avondale FC. This week's episode of Avenger Radio is proudly brought to us by our major partners, UCS Underground Cable Systems. UCS is a leading provider of sustainability solutions to communities, including solar batteries, recycled plastic products, and other technology solutions. For more information, visit ucs.com.au to find out about the fantastic services that they provide. Josh, our first big segment tonight is going to be all about our senior women's team. Joining us live in the virtual studio, our senior women's players, Eleni, Zobras, and Ariane Macleod. Hello and welcome.
Hello, how's it going?
We're doing very well. Thanks for joining us on, on Avenger Radio and in the virtual studio. Got muddled there, but we're excited to have you on. And we're excited to be back in action this weekend. Of course, football is back. Eleni, how pumped are you?
To get back on the pitch and get outside, really. I think getting used to the lockdowns now, but eager to get back into it and see all the girls as well. It's been hard doing everything virtually in life.
Is it a bit of a weird thing that we've sort of got used to having to deal with lockdowns, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on?
Yeah, I think it's hard for fitness as well. So I've been trying to do some running, but it's turned into walking, but still trying to keep up the fitness somewhat. And then hopefully we'll be back at it Sunday and good to go.
Just as well the lockdown's ending, because I think I was about to turn to crawling after went on for any more weeks. But Eleni, you joined mid-season. Tell us about how you came to the club and how you found it so far.
So far it's been amazing. How I came to the club is pretty much thanks to Ariane, I guess. I played with Ariane a few years ago at Essendon Royals, and I wasn't playing due to work commitments, and funnily enough I was changing jobs, and the girls had a few injuries unluckily, so needed some players, and I spoke with her and was like, this is kismet timing, I guess, and was keen to get back on board. I was going to play not last year, the year prior, given last year was at the club, but I ended up playing at a different club, and then since then found that I should have stayed at Avondale. So it's been really good. Girls are super welcoming. Club environment's amazing.
Fantastic. Great to hear. Sorry to cut you off, Josh. I think it is my notoriously famous home internet connection is just chiming in there. So my apologies to everyone if I cut anyone off or if there's any awkward pauses. Eleni, tell us a little bit about your playing style as well. We mentioned that this is your first half season at the club. Didn't take long for you to make an impact. You scored in your first game for Avondale against Point Cook, and then 2 weeks later you also scored the winner against Caroline Springs George Cross.
Yeah, I think it's been easy to gel with the girls. Like I've played with a few of the girls as well, and then some of them, like it's just the chemistry is just there. So it's been super easy to just mix in with everyone. And then, yeah, it's just different positions, so still getting used to it. I think essentially trying to fill in the injury spots. So I've played a bit of everywhere, but just trying to make an impact where I can, hopefully, and been a few lucky with some of the goals, but probably enjoy more the assists of it, hopefully. And yeah, the development side of things for the girls at the club too.
Ariane, let's hear your side of the story then. How did you convince Eleni to join, and why was she top of your transfer shortlist?
Oh, just a quality player all around. Can definitely put the ball in the back of the net as well. So we definitely needed a bit of that on the side, I think. But yeah, all I did, I sent her a text. It was probably like 8 o'clock. And I was like, come down if you're interested, put your boots on Tuesday night. And then, yeah, I think it was good timing for Eleni to get back to me. And yeah, it just happened from there. That was good.
Nice one. So for people who haven't seen Eleni play, she's a bit of a technical playmaker type midfielder. Is that a good read on it?
I think she prefers to be, but I think if I can get a good ball onto her, and she'll finish it 9.5 times out of 10. So I reckon she's pretty good either way, but yeah.
Push her further forward. You've been playing a few different positions, Eleni, up front, on the wings, centre midfield. Where have you been finding yourself this season?
Bit of everywhere. I think I did a bit of centre back in our last game as well. So that was taking me back to under 10s when I was the same height as everyone, but I'm a bit on the shorter side now. So ventured out of centre back. But yeah, but essentially anyway, I'm just happy to be on the pitch again. Like after last year, I realised how much I missed it, and yeah, put me anywhere, I'll play.
Ariane, we're about halfway through the season now. What are your thoughts on where we sit at the moment and the season so far? We're currently in 4th place. We've got 7 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. What have you thought of the season so far?
It's definitely been a tough one. With the lockdowns, it definitely throws a bit of a spanner in the works, as everyone knows. But I think with a few good sessions and bringing the girls back together, hopefully we can get some sort of chemistry going on, and hopefully we can pull a few wins out as well. Definitely hope we don't get any more losses, but obviously soccer is soccer, so you never know. But yeah, hopefully we can put the hard yards in and pull it through for the rest of the year. But yeah.
How is this year compared to, not last year, but 2019? Obviously, we've gone up a division. What have you found the most challenging, or what do you think has been the most challenging for the team?
There's definitely some real
with Sam before. We're not too sure what's going on with the catch-up rounds. We missed a game against Ballarat SC. That would have been a huge one. There in second. We still have to play Altona, who are above us as well. Are you still optimistic that we can climb up the table?
I reckon, yeah. Always keep optimistic. Yeah, but like I said, we just need to put some hard yards in and get the girls together and see what we can do on the park.
Eleni, what do you think as well? What do you think is going to be the key for us finishing off the season as strongly as possible heading into the second half?
I think essentially, like, well, as mentioned, as long as everyone's committing and coming to training and we can get that chemistry back together and everyone's fitness levels back up, I'm not too worried about the 2 other teams. I'm confident in the girls and I feel that we can climb back up. It's just more making sure everyone's there and ready to essentially play.
Fantastic. Our last game, we won't talk about it too much. It was a tough one coming up against North Geelong Warriors. We lost 5-0, unfortunately. Scoreline is a bit deceptive, though. They are a very, very good side. They're undefeated. They sit on top of the table. What lessons, Eleni, do you think we can take away from that game against such a good team?
I think essentially, like, it was their team chemistry. Like, everyone played the ball really well. They moved the ball up and down the park, like, superbly, and like using the wings, and if anything, just taking from that and seeing where we can improve and kind of adapt a different style of play to our game as well, will help us down the track. But it was more their cohesion. Like, I think a lot of their girls have played together quite a few years and obviously have gelled well, but yeah, we're a bit unlucky. I missed a few first half, might have changed the game. We had set pieces, 3 of the goals, so but you got to give credit where it's due. Those girls have done very well this season, so props to them.
Ariane, you've been battling a few injuries this season. How's the body feeling, and what about your junior coaching as well? How's that been going?
The injuries, I guess, not going too well. I have something called shin splints, which is basically, I guess, to reduce load in order to heal it. So basically, can't really do too much. But slowly getting better from that. In terms of coaching, we're yet to lose a game. We've drawn against George Cross 0-0. And this weekend, we are up against the top of the ladder who has not lost a game at all, Roxburgh Park. So that'll be an interesting one. Hoping to get a couple of training sessions in before then so that we can give them a bit of a run for their money. But yeah, it's looking good so far.
Nice one.
How have you found, Ariane, that coaching helps you as a player? Obviously, it seems to help with your player recruitment, getting Eleni across the line to join the club. But how else does it impact you as a player?
I guess you look at the game from a completely different perspective and you're looking, I guess, on how you can improve everyone else, whereas playing is how I can improve myself. So you're looking at it from, I guess, a holistic view, and understanding how things work and how different positions, if you put different players in different positions, you might influence a certain part of the match or something like that. So yeah, you're looking at everything around, I guess, playing myself. Yeah.
The
And-
Olympics are on as well at the moment. Of course, before we came on air, I think we were all watching the Matildas game. They were taking on the USA. It was a 0-0 draw. Have you guys been watching the Matildas as well?
I have. I'm not sure about Eleni.
No, I have definitely. I'm
have,
watching
yeah.
all the games. Anything Olympics, I'll put it on. It's the only thing I'm watching lately.
Well, we'll start with the Matildas, and then we'll broaden out to all the other sports. What have you made of the Matildas so far?
I think
From
they
your
were,
first line.
yeah, it was a bit hard like today. But I think we're waiting on results from Japan and China now to qualify, which hopefully still will qualify. But yeah, they were playing pretty defensive though, to be fair as well. But I think they've changed the formation a bit as well with the new coach. So yeah, it's different to the usual Matildas we've been seeing, but seeing some of the younger girls today was good as well, starting and playing most of the game, like Fowler. So it's exciting times for the next few years at least.
The player I feel sorry for is Ellie Carpenter suddenly not being allowed to go forward anymore. Right centre back. It seems stifling. But yeah, a point will probably do it. I think everyone was getting out their calculators at the end of that game and trying to work out how many third place teams qualify. But I think the two highest third place teams qualify. So unless China or Zambia have an incredible win and turn around the goal difference, we should be through to the knockouts. Should be okay. But yeah, it was a tough watch, that one. It is hard when you have a new coach though, and the whole formation changes, and you're not quite sure about all the tactics and so forth. They haven't had much time to prepare, so it's always difficult. I mean, Ariane, would you spring a new formation on a team going into an Olympics? Probably not, in your coaching experience.
Yeah, probably not. Probably sticking to what we know and yeah, what we play well at. But yeah.
Fair.
Eleni, you mentioned you've been watching everything to do with the Olympics. What's been your favorite non-footballing sport that draws your attention?
I was surprised to see the 3-on-3 basketball. That's been interesting, bit different. I do love gymnastics though. I think that's like the stuff they do is just so impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty high up on the list of things that I absolutely would not be able to do. Some of the sports you look at it, you go like table tennis, you go, maybe I could do that, but gymnastics definitely not.
I had the idea during the week, Branson, that we should just get an ordinary person to compete in every event, just to show the comparison between the elite athletes and what normal people can do. I feel like people more fully appreciate it. But I thought was it slalom canoeing? Is that what it's called? Yeah. That was crazy today. I couldn't believe how stressful and intense that was. That was so impressive.
Ducking and weaving everything.
I had no idea what the rules were or anything, but I was still super into it. That's the great thing about the Olympics. Everyone suddenly becomes like armchair experts about sports they've never seen before until like 10 minutes ago. That's great.
Yep. Absolutely. Ariane, what about you? Have you been watching any other Olympic sports other than football?
I watched a bit of the skateboarding the other day. That was really interesting to see. I think that's the first time they've included it in an Olympics, so it was good to see.
Didn't like a 13-year-old win in that?
I'm not sure which one, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Young competitors, which is, it's good. A bit of the swimming as well. It was good to see Ariane bring home the gold the other day, so that was good. But that's about it.
Big pride for all the Arianes out there in the world.
Definitely.
A few Zoom call delays here. That's all right.
Sorry. There we go. Sorry. My bad, Josh. As I said before, it's I don't know what it is, but my internet connection is just not too good. Yeah, a bit spotty at the best of times.
One more week, we're back in the studio, Branson.
Yeah,
One more week.
that's it. I am trying, not just sitting here in silence, just waiting for nothing, but that's all right. We will persevere. Ariane, Eleni, thanks very much for joining us on Avenger Radio tonight. We've got a big game this weekend, taking on the Maribyrnong Swifts on Sunday at 3 p.m. All the best in that one. Ariane, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to play with your injuries, but hopefully your big coaching clash against Roxburgh Park goes very well. And Eleni, all the best against Maribyrnong.
Thank you so much. That's been a good selection.
Thank you. Thanks once again for joining us on Avenger Radio. Josh, we're going to take a very quick break. I might go flip the switch on my Wi-Fi router as well. Just give that a quick reboot during the break. But we'll come back after this with more Avenger Radio right after this.
Thanks, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks for jumping on, Ariane. And Eleni's already gone. That's it. Too easy. Sorry about the internet there.
Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is now the most expensive way to power your home. In fact, the average electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years, but not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the price of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Avenger Radio on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Hello, welcome back to Avenger Radio. My name is Branson. I'm here with Josh in the virtual studio talking all things Avondale FC. Josh, joining us for our next segment, we are joined by senior men's players Stefan, Valentini and Liam Boland. How's it going, fellas?
Good, thanks, mate.
Good, thank you.
First things first, Steph, we're in the virtual studio. You've gone for an interesting background on your Zoom. What is it? Talk us through it. What have you gone for there, mate?
I was searching up Liam Boland on Google, and this photo came across, and
Give it a rest, mate.
Thought, well, may as well use it. It's a great photo. So
Oh, come on.
celebrating against Sydney. So Brandon O'Neill in the background over there. Is it?
Yep.
Is that better?
He's a good, yeah, he's a good bloke, he is.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he is. Great
He's
guy.
probably looking pretty dejected. That was a pretty big night for you, Limo. Was it 2 goals against Sydney FC? What do they call you? Mr. FFA Cup, you were saying they call you as well, mate.
Well, they did on Foxtel until Foxtel got the can, but it's good to be back in the cup. Hopefully it goes ahead this year anyway.
Yep, fingers crossed. We know football is back at least this weekend. We'll be taking on St. Albans Saints on Saturday. Are you guys excited?
Buzzing. Absolutely.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it to be back. It feels like it's been taken away from us too many times. So hopefully we get a good run in for the rest of the year now and, can take off where we left off basically. So
What did you do to pass the time in lockdown, Limo?
Me, spent a lot of time in front of the computer editing and things like that, to be honest. Would have said a bit of gaming, but have not been gaming for quite a while now, to be honest. There's nothing out, but did a lot of editing in front of the computer. I went for a few kicks with Charlie and Zinni as well, so kept myself fit. It's always good to be doing that, so I'm pretty sure most of the boys did, which is good. We did that last time as well, which is why I think we, really kicked on with how we went at the start of the season during that last period of lockdown before this one. So, basically that's about it. Probably annoyed my wife a little bit too much, but what can you do?
No, that's what about you? You said before that you were Googling Liam Boland. Did you spend the whole lockdown just Googling all of your teammates?
No, just before the Zoom session, I decided I was waiting in the waiting room, and I just saw it was a blank screen. I was like, I've got to spice it up a little bit. So instead of a white wall, sorry. So decided to find that photo. But no, for me, just been working from home, being pretty bored, to be honest. Like I like to actually work in the office. So it's been boring and that side of things, but being busy, like Limo said, trying to keep fit, do a couple of sessions here and there. Just try to keep my head and not get crazy in this time. But it's good to get some good news finally and get back into it. So we're buzzing for the week ahead and for the game on the weekend.
Not quite done talking backgrounds though. Is that a shrine to Harry Kane you've built, Limo?
Yeah.
In the back of your
Sure is.
Will you have to
Steph's
disassemble
even
it?
Steph knows he's good as well. He started doing his celebration. He's that good, Harry Kane. So, love my Harry. I'll be gutted if he leaves. You won't see me for a couple of weeks, mate. So
I was going to say, will you have to disassemble that Harry Kane shrine if he signs for City?
I don't think he's going, to be honest. I think it's the Euros has done us a big favour that 3 weeks to a month. I don't think they're going to have enough time to get the players they want out to fund the deal, to be honest. It's going to cost probably 200 million. So I can't see it happening, to be honest. Not this year anyway, so I can hold on for one more year at least.
Just as well you got that tight-fisted chairman who won't sell him for anything less.
Yeah, exactly right. Daniel Levy's he's been like that for years, so it's probably why we ended up with the stadium. But we've only just started to splash a bit of cash recently with the signing last night, and then hopefully a couple of centre backs would be nice as well. But
Limo, just how passionate are you about Tottenham, mate? Obviously, they're pretty close to your heart, but just how much do you care about them? Try to.
If you ask my wife, she'd tell you. She hears me screaming things at the screen at all hours of the night. I do watch probably I wouldn't say every game, but I'd say 99% of the games, at no matter what time they are. Probably the only game you wouldn't get me watching would be like a Europa League group game or something like that. But every other game, Steph knows I watch it religiously, basically. So I love my football. But yeah, Tottenham, I absolutely love the club. I just hope, it's been 14 years since we've won something. I wouldn't mind winning something else soon. So.
Well, you're not even in the Europa League this year. What are you in? What's it called,
the
Josh?
Conference League.
Yeah. You're going to be getting up to watch that?
No, definitely not. I'll get some sleep with that one.
Yeah, I think that one's one to miss. What about you, Steph? Have you been watching any of the Euros or any of the Olympics lately?
Yeah, the Euros I watched a lot. Like in the group stages, I was watching probably mostly every game, and I started going to training like with my eyes in the back of my head. So I ended up stopping that, and I tried to just kind of binge watch what I could. But I watched all Italy's games, which was good, and to win it was mental. So that was always good. And
he was playing the national anthem out of the speakers before training.
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, and I walked out with like a little Italian Superman singlet.
That was minging, but yeah.
that was a good highlight. But I've been watching the Olympics as well. Just watching Matildas before. It's a boring game. Like no one wanted to go forward, but it's good that they got.
Yeah, they both wanted a point, didn't they? So.
The last 5 minutes they were passing around.
The last even 20 minutes were a bit. The game before that, I thought we had some really good periods and probably could have gone on to score or something like that. But the last 20 minutes, I think we just settled. We don't want to cop a goal. They were passing it with no pressure at all. So at the back, which as a fan, you don't really want to be seeing that. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, don't you?
I really rate USA though. I think Sweden and Netherlands look really good. So. Yeah. I don't even think USA are going to be the team that win it.
I think they might be a bit washed up, USA. They've got a lot of older players in their team. They brought a 39-year-old off the bench. So,
did Alex Morgan get dragged, didn't she? She didn't look very happy.
No, I think she's a bit unlucky not have her goal count. But I think that's probably the fault of the tournament, if anything. You've got 2 of the 3 third-place teams going through, so it doesn't really add much jeopardy to the last game in the group. Anyway, I don't know if I've asked you this, Steph. Do you have a club side in Europe? Do you follow a Premier League team or a Serie A side?
Yeah, Juventus. Both for Juventus. So
you and half of Italy.
Yeah, no. Well, I grew up. My dad still is loves Juventus, and I just grew up loving the club. And I used to watch more of their games, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I used to watch mostly every game, not every game, but a lot of them. But now Champions League, I'll always watch, and whenever they're on, when there's a good game, when they're versus AC or Inter, I'll watch those games. But I won't watch as much teams like Bologna and Sassuolo and stuff like that. I won't really watch it. But yeah, I still get when I'm watching them, I still feel it in my stomach, get butterflies when I watch them. So that's always good. And then in the Premier League, Liam won't like this, but I like Chelsea. I was happy when they won the Champions League, but I actually really like Leicester. I just like what they're about and what happened. I love Jamie Vardy, so kind of helps when I watch them. So Leicester and Chelsea, I would say, but I don't have an out-and-out team in the Premier League.
So you didn't play Nessun Dorma after they won the league at training, or?
No. Yeah, that's really. I don't really. I hate Manchester United. I don't know what it is. I just hate them. So that's one thing, and I don't like Arsenal either. I just don't like most of their fans. So, and yeah, Tottenham's all right.
Hey.
Liam loves Tottenham. I actually don't mind. I don't mind Tottenham. It's just they just never seem to do anything. So,
what do you think of Fulham, Steph?
Fulham.
Yeah.
I don't think
average club. Yeah, same.
This club
isn't Branson.
Oh, Branson goes to Fulham. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
We're the best club in London, boys. Oldest club in London. Riverside Stand is looking great. I'm really looking forward to our season opening game away at Middlesbrough. in a couple of weekends. Can't wait for that.
150 years of history, and you've yet to offend anyone. So
yeah. That's it. Except like our entire fan base when we erected the Michael Jackson statue. And then annoyed the Michael Jackson fans when the statue came down. So you really can't win with that.
There's no winning at Fulham.
Well, hang on. We've won a trophy more recently than
if
Tottenham.
You're going to count the championship, yeah.
Yeah, I am going to count the championship third place trophy. We won it at Wembley. I think that counts.
Can we count the Audi Cup or something like that then?
Oh yeah, sure. Maybe. Enough talking about Fulham though, because it will make me sad. But tonight we wanted to talk about happier things. We want to talk about goals, and we have two perfect people on the show with us to talk about goals. Steph, mate, you're our leading goal scorer. Yeah, sorry, apparently that's hard to say. Leading goal scorer so far this season with 12. How have you found the season so far, mate? And I also believe, Josh, we have some highlights of Steph's goals that we can show as well.
It's been a good season, like for us. Like we've been doing really well. It's been a different season. It's not been like just normal where we just go out in the first 20 minutes we just score 3-4 goals like we did in 2019. Like we're kind of like it's a more controlled performance, and we're scoring late goals as well now, and we're coming from behind, so it showed a lot of character from us, and we've been doing really well, and that shows, and we want to continue to do that. From obviously a personal level, it's good, it's always, you always see me smiling when I'm scoring goals, so it's always a good thing. I'm buzzing with how it's going, and I don't want it to stop there. I want it to keep going, keep working for the team, and help the team as much as I can, and just keep getting results. That's the main thing.
You mentioned the late goals. I think it might have been Blakey who coined the term Avenger time for the last 15 minutes. The most prolific team in the last few minutes of the game. What do you put that down to? Is it a fitness thing? Is it the mentality of the group?
Yeah, I think it definitely is a fitness thing. Like I think we're a lot fitter than we were, but I think it's definitely the mentality of the group. Like one thing that we needed to learn from in 2019 was later like minutes of the game where and now we've just focused on it so much, and our whole preseason was focused on that, where we have to stay in a game and wait for the right moment, and we just have that desire and belief. We always believe that we're going to get that opportunity, like the game against Hume where we were down. We scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. That's not the normal Avondale way. Like we won't usually get to that point anyway, but we got to that point and we come back from it. So it's definitely positive signs, and we just take that into the weeks ahead.
Steph, we saw your goals coming up on the screen just before while you were talking there. Which goal has been your favourite so far this season, mate? Because you've scored a couple of good ones.
That's an easy one.
What?
Well, it's got to be his goal against Dandy City.
Yeah, I'll take away that goal because, I think it's been spoken about too much. Actually, when I watch now, I'm actually a bit sick of it. I'm not even lying. I don't know. I like the one against Bentley, the second one. I just like how it happened and everything, and that's probably my favourite. Like other than
important goal, yeah, that's probably the most important.
Most important, I'd say like that probably because we were 1-0 down and then we caught up and got to 2-1. So that one felt good, and I like watching that on repeat. So it's good.
Well, you also scored the winner against Oakley in round 1, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, I like that one as well. that was so long ago, but it's not. I don't know. Bentley was the
Bentley one was good, Matt. Two goals in 5 minutes, whatever. Turned the game on its head, sort of thing. It was like
yeah.
Commentary's not bad on that one either.
Yeah. You only rock up to having Avondale games once a year now, don't you?
Oh look, I put my name down for all of them, and then we see what comes out in the wash. But
okay.
I'm not in charge of the commentary assignments, unfortunately.
Well, somehow Preston keep coming up. Just saying, man.
That's a different arrangement. That's outside of it. I've got to be there to run the equipment. The commentary is secondary when it comes to Preston. I'm in charge of whether the thing works, which is much more stressful.
Limo, mate, you're no stranger to goals yourself. You were our leading goal scorer in 2019, but not only that, you're also the MPL Golden Boot winner with 22 goals that season. How have you found your season so far? The goal numbers aren't the same. They're not as high as they were in 2019, but it still feels like you're having a big impact on the team and in a slightly different role too.
Yeah, I feel like this year's been a little bit different for me. I love the role as well. If we're winning, I've got no problem in playing a different role. I feel like I've been a little bit more of a provider and things like that when I've played. I've played in the midfield at some points as well, but right before the lockdown, I felt like I was coming into some really good form, started feeling like I was in 2019, holding the ball up and, sort of creating for players in behind and things like that. But obviously I had a suspension against Eastern Lions, 5 yellows. So that kind of interrupted me as well. So, and then the lockdown as well. So it's been a while since I've actually played. But yeah, right before that, I felt like I was coming into some really good form again. But yeah, I mean, as long as we're winning, I've got no problem in playing a different role at all, because at the end of the day, all we want to do is lift some silverware at the end of the year. So yeah, whatever it takes, really.
A similar trajectory to the man in the frame behind you. Harry Kane role, dropping a bit deeper, dishing off the assists.
I mean, yeah, I've tried to base my game off him, really, to be honest, try and create. I've always felt like I've brought other players into the game as well. I mean, I am like a greedy striker as well, but at the same time, I do enjoy playing the ball for others to score and things like that, so and creating. So I think that's part of my game, and I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near that man's level, but, I can base my game off his.
I mean, Harry Kane's obviously a pretty good player to idolise. I mean, after all, he's the second best striker in London. I mean, he's no Alexander Mitrovic. He's no
Come on here
Mitrovic.
again.
Sorry?
Mitrovic.
Yep, Alexander Mitrovic. Hey, he's the all-time goal leader for Serbia. Look out, guys. Look out. Question for both of you. Whose goal was better? Steph, your strike against Dandy City, or Limo, your goal for Green Gully in the FFA Cup?
It just has to be like he scored from halfway. Like, if you're scoring from there in that moment in an FFA Cup, you got to say you can't. I don't know. You can't really compare them, but like
different strikes. But I mean, I'm taking mine in the moment, aren't I?
In the moment, it's a great goal.
Steph's goal's a joke, power and swerve and things like that, but it's a different goal as well. Like it's
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not giving up that goal to anyone, to be honest.
All right, so
if you asked me about that goal, I'd say it's better than anyone's.
let me reframe the question then. What as a player, what goal feels more satisfying? Like Steph's one where, as you said, Limo, he just hit it so
if
purely, or the FFA Cup one where the moment is so. Which one would you prefer?
Branson.
A bit windy where you are, Branson, or what?
Oh, apparently, I don't know. My internet connection's pretty crap.
If my goal wasn't in the last minute of that game and it was in the 30th minute or something, I'd say Steph's goal would be more satisfying. The actual strike of the ball when you hit it like that and it swerves in and out, sort of thing. But when you're scoring a last minute winner like that, there's no better feeling in the world, really, to be honest. So. Yeah,
I'd agree with him there. Like the feeling of scoring that goal in that minute, like you can't take that over anything. Like it would be a surreal feeling. But yeah, definitely.
I guess it's a credit to that goal's place in the sort of Australian football or Victorian football law that means that nobody talks about your halfway strike at Lakeside anymore, do they?
No, true.
No one brings it up.
That was actually after as well, obviously, because I was at Avondale. Yeah, not as many people do talk about it. The few people I play with obviously do, because and they say, oh, that one was better and things like that. But that first goal's probably done me in a bit for the rest of my career, to be honest. It would be hard to top it. So.
Well, the commentary on that goal against South, I think, is something like about that being the best goal ever scored at that venue, like since they redid Lakeside, which is probably still true. So
I mean, I'll take that to the grave,
Yeah. I want to talk about penalties as well, guys, because you are both very, very good at penalties. Limo, you didn't miss a penalty at all in 2019. You haven't missed a penalty at all this season. Steph, you're also perfect from the penalty spot so far this season. What's the key for both of you at being so successful?
Touch some wood, Steph.
Yeah. Look. When you're talking about penalties, you can't compare with Liam. Like, honestly, like, no word of a lie, his penalties are another level. Like, I don't know how he does them. And for me, when I take a penalty, I'm just focusing on kicking the ball as hard as I can and hope it hits the back of the net. You know, like, Liam's are more controlled and he, like, how he does them. I've missed plenty of penalties in my day. Like, when I went to Adelaide and played in Adelaide, I missed 2 penalties actually. So I back myself at the moment. If Liam's not on the field and I have to step up to take a penalty, I'll take one. 100% I want to take him. But if Liam's on the field, like, I can't compete with that. Like, I back him 100%. So yeah, that's how it is.
The biggest thing I think is just confidence. And from what I've seen, when Steph stepped on, up to take the penalties this year, he's been confident. And when you can see that as a player, you know that it's going to hit the back of the net. So Steph's obviously a confident player, but when he's in good form as well, he's going to be scoring. So his penalties definitely got a lot better, and it's been good to see because it's taken on. You know, it's a bit of leadership as well when you take a penalty. It's a big responsibility. There's important moments in a game when you've got to step up. Some people don't want to take them. So I personally love that pressure, and I think Steph does as well, where, you know, you're kind of helping out the team, taking a bit of a load off other players.
I think sometimes you see people take penalties and the entire body language changes from the fact that they would usually bury a chance from that distance in normal play. But when you've got that much time to think about it, it's a completely different prospect.
Yeah, it's like a different sport, honestly. It's a different mental state you kind of go into. A lot of concentration and things like that. But yeah, the pressure can make some people crumble from the spot there, as we've seen in the Euros recently. So it's an interesting one.
Do you make eye contact with the goalkeeper?
Yeah, so it's a funny one. I used to watch. Well, I've watched that much football in my time, but Thomas Muller was the first guy I saw do it, where he used to watch the keeper the whole way. And I didn't used to do it. I used to just do my 2 side steps and go up and strike the ball, try to go low and hard. But now in the last few years, I've really changed the way I do it, and I just stare at the goalkeeper the whole way. I don't actually look at the ball at all. So I just wait for the keeper to move, basically. And when he's gone, I choose my spot. If he tries to go too late, I feel like I'll put it hard enough to hit to either side of him.
Because when you're watching a penalty shootout, regardless of what level, I think every spectator does that thing where he goes, he's going to score, he's going to miss, they're trying to call it. And my usual trick for trying to judge who's going to score and who's going to miss is the players that try and look away from the goalkeeper or don't look at the goal when they're lining it up and so forth and waiting. They always seem to be the less confident than the ones who go for the, you know, big alpha stare down.
Yeah, especially the ones after the whistle goes for the ref, how long they take to actually go. If you saw Rashford, how long he took to actually take his first step towards the ball, you could see that he felt the pressure big time. So not comparing a penalty I've ever taken to that moment, though. That's a massive moment. But I felt that when Rashford was taking his penalty, I wasn't confident. He's a good penalty taker. So
one last question for the both of you before we finish things up. We've got a big back end of the season coming up. Obviously, the regular season still to conclude. We've also got the Doherty Cup semi-final and the FFA Cup round of 32 game against Devonport, which hopefully goes ahead. Limo, how are you feeling heading into the back end of the season?
I'd say this is probably the most exciting time I've been at Avondale anyway. We're in everything, every competition. And we've been, something like 18 games unbeaten or something like that. So
18 games.
You'd have to say this is the best form we've been in over the 3 years as well. It's this year's been very different in the sense that, you know, like Steph said before, we've had games where we come back out of the blue, out of nowhere, where we've been tested mentally and we've showed up every time. So I think we've really matured as a group, and, you know, this is the time where we've all put in the hard work, and we've even through lockdowns and everything. And, you know, it's time to show all the hard work we've put in at the end of the year. And it's exciting to be playing for trophies.
And Steph, how do you feel as well, mate?
Yeah, I'm excited, you know, like to say from what Liam said, it's a big end of the season coming up. You know, like the way we do it is we take game by game. I know, like we know the FFA Cup and the Doherty Cup, but all we can do is focus on Saturday and take it from there, really. And we're excited. Everyone's excited to get back on the field, and I'm buzzing to get back on the field and just to get back to what we were doing and enjoying football, having a smile on our face, and just being out there together, fighting like wild dogs on the field again. And I'm buzzing for that. So I can't wait for Saturday, and just keep watching, and you'll keep seeing what we can produce.
Fantastic, guys. Well, Steph, as you mentioned, we're taking on the St. Albans Saints this Saturday at 3 p.m. at Avenger Park. It does look like that game is going to be behind closed doors. However, you will be able to watch the game live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Steph, Liam, thank you very much for joining us on Avenger Radio tonight, and all the best on the weekend.
Thanks, guys. Everyone.
Josh, we're going to take one last very quick break, but when we come back, we will wrap things up here on Avenger Radio. Think we're good. Oh, they're gone.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Avenger Radio on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Welcome back to Avenger Radio. My name is Branson. I'm here with Josh, talking all things Avondale FC. Josh, we're about to close this one out, mate. The good news, of course, we've said it a bunch of times, but football is back this weekend. So that means we actually get to take a look ahead to the games to come this weekend. You know, a couple of weeks. Senior, they'll be taking on the St. Albans Saints on Saturday at 3 p.m. Our under-21s will be in action before that as well. Their game kicks off at 12:15 p.m. also against St. Albans, also at Avenger Park as well. Both those games will be live streamed. You'll be able to watch them on Facebook or YouTube, or as well, because the games will be behind closed doors, follow along on Twitter. We post our live updates, live commentary on the game there as well. Our senior women's team, they're going to be in action. They will take on Maribyrnong Swifts on Sunday at 3 p.m, looking to bounce back from a tough performance against North Geelong, against a very, very good side. But I'm looking forward to that one, Josh. Hopefully they can bounce back and get a great result, mate.
Yeah, it's a close title and promotion run-in for the women especially. And, I mean, the men's team are flying before lockdown. Hopefully they can recapture the form that took them clear top of the table. And St. Albans, away from home, haven't been the strongest side this season, so I'd be pretty confident of a result in that one.
Yeah, well, St. Albans, I was having a look at their form before. I think they've we are undefeated in our last 18 games. They have a similar streak, but I think it's on the opposite end. I think they are winless in their last 14 or 15 games. And there was a loss as well earlier this year in the FFA Cup to a State League 3 side as well, if I remember correctly, Josh.
Yeah, they've had a tough year so far, to say the least. They've tried to retool a little bit in the transfer window. They got a new striker in from England. He scored a couple of goals and looks busy, but they can't get the ball to him often enough. So I think that's the challenge, is to start feeding him. And the last time I saw them play, they were playing Joey Monek at left back, which I thought made no sense whatsoever because he's one of their most talented attacking players. Maybe they've got an injury problem in that position, but if they've got a left back, they can push him further forward. They'll be stronger. The guy I'm most excited to see from St Albans is mainly just because of his name, but he looks pretty good as well. A young guy coming off the bench whose name is Jamar Boss, which is just a great name for a footballer.
That is a fantastic name for a footballer. I think you've undersold that one. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He loves to dribble. He's exactly the kind of player that you picture when you hear the name Jamar Boss. So look out for him as a possible super sub.
Yeah, definitely. Last time we faced St Albans as well, it was a 3-0 victory away from home. Stefan Valentini, he scored all 3 goals. We were talking to him before. He scored 2 goals from the penalty spot and then a third late on in the game to clinch what was already a sealed 3 points. I remember St Albans, their goalkeeper got sent off midway through the first half as well. He gave away 2 penalties, got a yellow card for each, and then got sent off. So that would have been a tough half an hour.
I think 4 players have stepped into the St Albans goalkeeper position this season. They've had a few issues in that area, some suspensions, some injuries. If they've got Shane Vidakangis available and non-suspended and ready, I'm not sure. He's a towering goalkeeper. Not great distributor of the ball, but a good shot stopper. So if they've got him available, they'll certainly be a lot stronger than the last time they played against Avondale. But then again, that home advantage for them looms large with the home crowd when they're allowed one. Quite a bumpy and very small pitch at Churchill Reserve, which they make the most of by putting a lot of pressure on the ball, whereas a bigger, more favourable deck at Avenger Park, I think, will favour the side who's going to have most of the possession, which is, of course, Avondale.
Yes, hopefully. And as we said before, 18 games unbeaten. Hopefully we can extend that winning streak to 19 games. But Josh, that pretty much brings us to an end of this week's virtual lockdown special of Avenger Radio. Hopefully, mate, next week we'll be live back in the studio. I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, can't wait, Branson. Cannot wait. We will be abiding by all the restrictions. We'll have masks off air and big plastic dividers in between all the presenters, but it'll be nice to see you next week, and I can't wait for us to not rely on your internet connection anymore.
That's it. I was just about to say the show seems to operate far more smoothly when my internet does not feature. But thanks to all the listeners for bearing with us through our classic internet connection problems. But that is an end of this week's episode of Avenger Radio. Thank you, everyone, for watching and for listening. Sorry, got to the end, man. I butchered the ending. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Stay tuned to our Facebook page as well for all the latest news and COVID-19 updates. That'll be the first place you find out about rescheduled games as well. So thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you on the weekend.
Avenger Radio on FNR, Football Nation Radio.